Hello, everyone. Today we're looking at a listener-submitted transcript of a commentary piece. It's a reaction to some recent claims by Candace Owens about Charlie Kirk, aliens, and time travel.
It is a wild ride.
It really is. So let's just get straight to the work.
Let's do it.
Okay, I think we have to start with the vocabulary. I'm just going to read some words from the script. Dingbat, witch, candy, horse crap, lunatic.
Yeah.
Now, given the subject matter, I get it. It feels like the author is just, matching the energy in the room. It's raw. Is that really a bad thing for this kind of content?
It's not bad if the goal is but if you want to be effective, I think it's fatal.
Fatal.
Yeah. The problem isn't that it's rude. The problem is that it lowers the ceiling of the entire critique. When you open with dingbat or witch, you're signaling to your audience that this is just an emotional rant.
Not a serious takedown.
Exactly. It's like bringing a water pistol to a drone fight. The source material claims a public figure as a time-traveling agent from the Matrix. You don't need to call her names to make that sound absurd.
The absurdity's already there.
It's baked right in.
Okay, but let me just play devil's advocate for a second here. This is clearly for, a YouTube-style audience, that whole drama space. It thrives on the dunk. If we strip out all the dingbats and the lunatics, do we risk making it boring?
I see what you're saying, and that's the trap, right? The fear that analytical automatically means dry.
Yeah.
But I would argue it's the opposite. The most devastating takedowns aren't the ones where you call someone stupid. They're the ones where you prove it without ever using the word.
Okay.
If you lean on the insults, sure, you'll get a laugh from people who already agree with you, but you lose anyone on the fence. They just see hater and they click away.
You want to convert the fence sitters.
We want to convert the fence sitter.
All right, so let's workshop this. Let's make it concrete. How do we keep the punch, but, lose the mud? In that opening section, the author calls Owens a lost cause and a dingbat. How do we make that hit harder?
We focus on the logic. In that exact same breath, the author points out that Owens claims Charlie Kirk is a time traveler who is still alive, but at the same time, she's running an investigation of trying to find out who really killed Charlie Kirk.
Right. You can't investigate a murder for a guy who's currently on the radio.
Exactly. So that's the golden ticket. Instead of just saying, she's a dingbat for thinking this, you rewrite the line to highlight that violation of reality.
Okay, so something like,
the subject is attempting to solve the murder of a man she explicitly claims is still alive and traveling through time. This isn't just a conspiracy, it's a fundamental violation of the law of non-contradiction.
Whoa, yeah, that hits so much harder. It shifts the frame from, I don't like her, to she can't process linear time.
Precisely. It turns a playground insult into, a cognitive diagnosis. And we can do the same thing with that part about the cults.
The Egyptian plane nonsense?
Yeah, the Egyptian plane nonsense, the bead cult, the moon cult. The script just calls it all unbecoming. And unbecoming is such a it sounds like a schoolmarm.
It does sound a bit moralizing. Like, oh, that's not very ladylike of you.
Exactly. So what's the stronger angle? It's the pattern. Why does she jump from one theory to the next? It's not that she believes them all. It's that she cycles through them.
It's a content strategy.
It's a content strategy. The critique should be, this rapid cycling through unrelated theories shows a pattern of discarding narratives once they lose their viral power. The time travel claim isn't a belief. It's just the latest content.
That's good. It attacks the motive, not just the person. Okay, we have to talk about Owen Benjamin. The script calls him a dingbat with a low IQ.
Which is pretty ironic because the script also says he claims he has 147 IQ.
Right, and the author's response is basically, no you don't, you dummy. It's a real no you argument. But buried in there is the key detail. Owen's only proof for his IQ is that his mom told him he was smart.
That's the diamond in the rough. You don't need to call him low IQ. You just hold up his standard of evidence.
So the critique becomes...
The critique is, we are being asked to accept a 147 IQ claim based solely on the verbal verification of the subject's mother, while dismissing standardized testing as gamma midwit spurging.
I'm glad you brought that up. Gamma midwit spurging. The script uses that phrase a couple of times. For listeners who aren't terminally online, we should probably clarify that's deep internet slang from these specific communities, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's that, Vox Day sociosexual hierarchy jargon. It's designed to shut down any debate.
So by using it without explaining it.
The author's just confusing the general audience. The critique needs to translate it. Something like, they use these esoteric insults to preemptively categorize any logical pushback as a personality defect.
That actually leads me right into my next point, which is the organization of this piece. We're jumping from IQ claims to Egyptian planes to time travel. Reading the transcripts, I got whiplash.
You felt that spiral, right?
A huge spiral. It's almost funny.
That's the biggest structural weakness here. The author accuses Owens of spiraling, but the script just mimics her chaos. It's contagious.
Totally. 1 minute we're on a corporate espionage movie, the next it's Nick Fuentes, then gifted children, then agents from the Matrix.
It's like you're doom-scrolling through a Twitter feed, instead of listening to a coherent argument.
Exactly, and when you structure a critique that way, you lose your authority. You just look like you're reacting, not analyzing.
We need to stop reacting line by line and start synthesizing.
So how do we fix that flow? Because all these points are related in her world. She mixes them all up. How do we untangle them?
We need to build buckets, thematic pillars. If I were rewriting this, I'd use 3. First bucket, the metaphysical.
Okay.
You put all the magic stuff in there. Time travel, aliens, demons, matrix agents. Just get it all out in one block so the listener understands the sheer scale of the magical thinking.
Isolate the woo-woo, basically.
Right. Then, bucket number 2. Source validity. This is where you put Erica Kirk, Fort Huchica, and, this is the most important part, the movie.
The movie?
Yes. The script says she verified a claim by watching a fictional movie. That needs to be glued right next to her journalistic claims.
Oh, I see.
If you put, I watched a movie, next to I have a source at a military base, you destroy the credibility of that source without even having to disprove it. You show her bar for truth includes Hollywood fiction.
That's much cleaner. And the third bucket?
The echo chamber. That's where you put Owen Benjamin, the IQ stuff, all the truth army comments. That separates the content of the conspiracy from the sociology of the movement that believes it.
I really like that. It turns a rant into an essay. But speaking of things that derail the flow, we have to talk about the skits.
Oh boy, the Georgie Boy segments.
Yeah, these long sections where the author role-plays a conversation between Owens and her husband. Georgie, I got it. Maybe I can weave this into my arc. I have to be honest, I completely tuned out.
That's the danger of that kind of hypothetical satire. It just blurs the line. A casual listener might get confused. Did she actually say that, or are you just making it up?
It takes up so much airtime that could be used for actual evidence. And the most frustrating part is, the reality is funnier than the skit.
That's exactly it. Why invent a dialogue about her making things up when you have proof of her making things up?
Right.
The script spends a whole minute doing a funny voice about some movie plot. Instead, just quote her directly. There is a moment where she admits a source led us to finding this movie, and that Erica definitely knew about Fort Huchica because she was watching a movie.
Wait, she actually said that because she was watching a movie?
Yes, that is in the source text, and the author just glossed over it to do a skit.
Wow.
The critique should just be, the subject explicitly admits her investigation into a real-world murder was guided by the plot of a fictional corporate espionage film. That sentence is devastating. You don't need a funny voice.
It moves it from mockery to like an evidentiary hearing. I felt the same way about the time traveler text. The script has this whole preamble about agents and fake friends, but the text message itself is the real smoking gun.
It is. The text allegedly says he was a time traveler and he had to find me. Now, the author just laughs at that, but let's dig a little deeper. Is it possible Kirk was using a metaphor?
That's exactly how I would weave it. You know, I'm an old soul, or I feel like I came from the future to fix this. A bit grandiose, maybe, but still a metaphor.
Precisely. And if that's the case, the critique isn't Charlie Kirk is a time traveler. The critique becomes Candace Owens has lost the ability to distinguish between metaphorical language and literal reality.
Oh, that's good.
She's reading a poetic text about destiny and interpreting it as, sci-fi mechanics. It's a cognitive malfunction.
It explains the mechanism of the craziness. And that brings me to the logic of the counterargument itself. I feel like the author assumes we're all already on their side. They just point at things and say, that's crazy.
It's preaching to the choir, which is fine if you just want likes from your base, but if you want to persuade anyone, you have to dismantle the logic for the people who don't already think it's crazy.
Take the time traveler thing again. The author mocks the idea that Kirk's death changed the world. But Owens's point is, You just cannot pretend that all of this is one big unhappy coincidence. She's seeing patterns.
Right, she's using the argument from incredulity. She can't imagine it's a coincidence, so therefore it must be a conspiracy. The critique needs to provide the alternative.
Spell it out.
You have to spell it out. Say, coincidence is not evidence of conspiracy. Organizations change direction and restructure all the time without time travel being involved. You have to normalize the event she's trying to mystify.
And we need to do that with the gifted children stuff, too. The script mentions streetlights going out and gate programs, and it all sounds very spooky.
It does. But gifted and talented programs are real things. They exist in almost every school district. The critique needs to separate fact from fiction. The existence of high IQ programs is not evidence that they are breeding grounds for matrix age. You have to sever the link she's trying to create.
I think the most dangerous logical trap in this whole piece, though, is what she does with the PR firm defense.
Oh, absolutely. This is the boss battle of the critique.
She says, I honestly view these people as my PR firm. So basically, anyone who criticizes her is just working for her. The author calls it gaslighting, but it feels more strategic.
It is. It's a self-sealing argument. It's a closed loop. If you ignore her, she wins, because no one debunked. If you debunk her, she says you're part of the PR firm sent to silence her because she's over the target.
So how do you break that loop? I mean, if we publish this critique, aren't we just proving her point? Aren't we becoming the PR firm?
And that is exactly what she wants you to think. The only way to break it is to explain the mechanism to the audience. You have to pull the curtain back.
Show them the trick.
You show them the trick. You say, notice what is happening here. The subject is using the negative attention that valid critiques generate and reframing it as persecution. This is a defensive strategy designed to immunize herself against any criticism. It ensures that no matter what evidence is presented, she remains the victim or the hero.
That's powerful. You're not just arguing with her. You're handing the audience the decoder ring.
Exactly. And once they see how the trick works, it stops working. You move the conversation from, is she right, to, look at how she is manipulating you.
I love that. It elevates the whole piece from just a reaction video to, I don't know, a lesson in media literacy.
And that really should be the goal. We have more than enough reaction videos. We need more media literacy.
So big picture here, this listener has so much good, raw material. They've done the research, they've watched the videos, but they kind of got sucked into the mud with her.
They got captured by the content. It's hard not to when it's this wild, but the advice is simple. Cool down, step back.
Okay, so let's recap the action plan for a rewrite.
First, professionalize the tone. Drop the dingbats and witches. It just hurts your credibility. Rewrite those lines to focus on the logical contradictions, not the person.
Right.
Second, structure the chaos. Don't let her spiral dictate your script. Use those 3 buckets: metaphysical, sourcing, and echo chamber.
And third?
Facts over fiction. Cut the Georgie boy skit. They're a distraction. Replace them with her specific admission, like using movies as sources for an investigation.
And finally, the logic.
Explicate the logic. Don't just say it's crazy. Explain why it's fallacious. Break down that PR firm trap and show the audience how it works.
There is a really strong analytical piece hiding under all the frustration in this draft. I really hope the listener takes another crack at it because I want to hear the version where the logic does all the talking.
Absolutely. The evidence is all there. It just needs to breathe.
Thank you for listening to The Critique. We look forward to seeing the next draft.